Our free and equal segment tonight, Rachel Dolezal recently announced that she's transracial. This, according to her, means her physical race does not match the race she feels on the inside. But this announcement has gotten a lukewarm reception from progressives, especially compared to the praise Caitlyn Jenner received when she came out as transgender. But what is the difference? Take a look.
Even though race is a social construct in America, there is a very clear color line, there's a very clear divide, and you have to take a side. Like, I stand on the black side of issues philosophically, politically, socially. The idea of race is a lie. So how can you lie about a lie? I believe that the word transracial has become socially useful in describing racial fluidity and identity.
Joining me now, contributor to Red State, Kira Davis. Kira, good to see you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Kira, let me ask you, let me just be blunt here. Transracial, Rachel Dolezal says she's transracial. Is that a thing?
No, and neither is transgender. I mean, they're all, if you want to talk about social constructs, which seems to be a term that's popped up quite a bit in the last few years, gender is not the social construct. Gender is science and biology. The social construct is the idea of transgenderism, which this transracial angle that Rachel Dolezal is taking is the natural endgame of that, which is why I've always been opposed to it. Besides the fact that there's just no science behind it. So no, there's no such thing as transracial, but I also don't see the difference between her and someone like Bruce Jenner and why we should treat them differently. I kind of think she got a bum deal in the media, if you ask me.
No, I think she did too. That's actually a point that I wanted to bring up to you, is the response that she's gotten from the left. I mean, the left says that transgender is the thing. They praised Caitlyn Jenner when she came out as transgender, you know, everything positive about her except the fact that she's conservative. How come the lukewarm response to Rachel Dolezal when she says she's transracial? Because if identity is at the core of who we are, if what we feel is who we are, biology doesn't factor into it, then, I mean, they should respond to Rachel Dolezal the same way, it seems to me.
It's interesting. I just wrote another related article at Red State yesterday about this idea of transgender and transracial, and I asked, where are all the feminists? Because if we are going to blow up the millennia, I mean, since the birth of time, the concept of gender and how humans are different in race and background and ethnicity, if we're going to blow all that up, you know, if there is no such thing as a real woman, you know, a woman is who what she feels to be. A black person is who they feel they are. Then what happens to movements like Black Lives Matter? What happens to the feminist movement? You know, what happens to women's equality? If there is really no such thing as gender, then can there be women's rights? If there is no such thing as fixed sexuality, can there be gay rights?
Right.
You know, if there is no such thing as being black, can there be black activists, you know, for the rights of minorities? I mean, this is the end game. It's no wonder they're silent. How can you speak logically to this?
Right. Of course, if you bring this up, if you bring up the slippery slope argument, they're just going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're being slippery slope. You don't understand how it's going. But it's funny. It's funny you bring up.
They're sliding down
exactly
the slope.
Exactly.
Slope.
Right, exactly. It's funny that you bring up the feminist aspect, though, because in North Carolina, when we have all this controversy over the transgender bathrooms, there was actually a feminist group that joined forces, unlikely, I guess, with conservative evangelicals to say that the transgender bathrooms shouldn't be transgender bathrooms because it dilutes what they believe women's rights should be. So, I mean, an unlikely pairing there, but in some ways that's playing out. Kira, let me ask you about something else Rachel Dolezal said, though. She said the idea of race is a lie. What do you make of that?
I hear people say that from time to time. It's usually made in an argument where someone wants to dilute the lines of race. I hear conservatives say it all the time too. And I don't really like that. I get what people mean. It's the human race. But, you know, let's just use common sense in the vernacular of modern America. Race does mean, you know, different color and different ethnicity. And there's nothing wrong with seeing race, you know, race, especially for Black America, you know, race is closely tied to culture. So sometimes when you hear people say, I don't believe in race or race is a lie, what you kind of hear what they're saying is, I don't take you seriously, or I don't take your background seriously. So that's a problem I have with that. I get it. She's she's trying to keep her head above water. I mean, she's got nothing now. So she's going to say anything. She's an incredibly intelligent woman. And she obviously knows how to spin. And frankly, although I think she's insane, I don't see any reason why we should treat her as any less of a hero than we do Caitlyn Jenner or even a guy like Sean King.
No, I mean, I agree. I think actually it showcases liberal hypocrisy that they're not holding her up as a hero, that they're not using her and saying Rachel Dolezal is a champion of the next, the next battleground, the next front of the, the civil rights movement and, the gay rights movement. And I think she does have one thing left. This is just my final point. She does have one arsenal left in her, or one weapon left in her arsenal, and that is if she comes out as a black man. I think they'd probably support her if she did that.
That's actually how I ended my article at Red State the other day. I think maybe she should have come out as a black man and then she'd be a hero, but who knows? I don't make the rules for these things.
Right, you never know. I mean, she still has plenty of time. That could be the next thing that happens. Kira,
yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. It was great to talk to you.